You train for real combat. Southeast Asian martial arts were forged in the same crucible. Here is what they teach about fighting in tight spaces, on unstable ground, with no rules. You fight where you stand. In Southeast Asia, that meant muddy rice paddies, narrow jungle trails, and rolling riverboat decks. The terrain demanded a low center of gravity. Wide stances and high kicks fail on uneven ground. Instead, these arts built stances like the Cuta horse stance, a mobile platform that lets you pivot and strike without losing footing. Power comes from sharp torso rotation, not linear push. Your limbs act as whips or blunt weapons, generating force through hip snap. This is not sport, it is survival mechanics. You eliminate the opponent fast. You use elbows, knees, ridge hand, and headbutts because they deliver damage in close range without telegraphing. Every technique ends the fight. No points, no rounds, just you and the threat. You do not have space to wind up a punch. In a rice paddy or a boat, your range is inches. Southeast Asian arts prioritize elbows and knees as primary weapons. They deliver crushing force without a long backswing. The ridge hand strike cuts through guards. The knee drives into the thigh or ribs from a clinch. Power generation relies on your hips and core, not your arm muscles. You rotate your torso like a spring, then snap the weapon into the target from an unexpected angle. Low kicks target the knee and shin to break structure. You do not kick high, you kick to disable. This is a rotary power system, not a linear one. You learn to generate force from any body position, even off balance. That is practical. That is combat. Your guard is not a shield, it is a deception. In Silat and Kuntao, the guard posture is dynamic and open. You hold your hands low to invite an attack. When the opponent commits, you intercept and counter in one motion. The guard controls the opponent's perception. You make them think they see an opening. Then you close it with a strike or a lock. This is tactical initiative. You dictate when and where the fight happens. Your hands stay alive, ready to flow from defense to offense without pause. A static guard blocks one punch. A living guard ends the exchange. Train your guard as the first move of your counter, not the last move of your defense. You do not block and then attack. You deflect and attack simultaneously. In these systems, the tankasan, the deflection, redirects the incoming strike while positioning your limb for a lock, trap, or counter-strike. There is no wasted motion. Every action serves multiple purposes. A parry becomes a grab becomes a break becomes a throw. This is high-efficiency combat. You train your body to flow from defense to offense without thinking. The movement is continuous. You do not reset after a block. You flow into the next technique. This eliminates the gap between protecting yourself and harming the opponent. In a real fight, that gap gets you hurt. Close it with your training. You close distance. Now what? Southeast Asian arts integrate grappling and throwing as a direct follow-up to striking. You do not separate stand-up and groundwork, you chain them. A knee strike sets up a hip throw. An elbow leads to a collar tie and a sweep. The clinch is not a pause, it is a platform for destruction. You off-balance the opponent with sharp pulls and pushes. You use their momentum against them. The throws are compact, designed for tight spaces. You dump the opponent onto the ground and follow with a finishing strike. This is not sport jiu-jitsu. This is combat grappling. You control, break, and end. Train the transition from strike to clinch to throw as one sequence. You take these principles into your training today. Focus on low stances and torso rotation for power. Drill elbows and knees from the clinch. Practice deflections that flow into locks or strikes. Use your guard to bait attacks, not just absorb them. Chain your techniques, strike, clinch, throw, finish. Test everything against resistance. These arts survived because they worked. They work in the same conditions you face: close range, unstable ground, no rules. Do not treat them as exotic. Treat them as a source of proven mechanics. Strip away the ritual. Keep the efficiency. That is how you build practical combatives. Study the mechanics, apply the principles, test under pressure. That is how you make any art work for you.